These are extraordinary times, but with too much information and much of it confusing. On Body Ecology Living, I interview some of the best minds to help you live your best life possible. We'll discuss topics on using foods to heal, on building a hearty immune system, on aging well, on taking care of your gut and, of course, your brain, but most of all, on clarifying the right steps to be happier, healthier, and having the energy to make a difference in your own world. Welcome back, everybody. I'm really excited about the podcast today because I think, it may bring tears to your eyes. I hope I can make it through the podcast without crying myself. But we have as a guest today a really special, he's still a young man. I've known his mother for a couple of decades, maybe, or at least more than 10 years. And she's an amazing person herself. And she's somebody who's always believed in her son. And her goal was to help him reach his maximum potential. And at a very early age, he started writing books. I actually have his very first book when he was really young. In the meantime, he's written a bunch. And I am holding in my hand right here his latest book. And you'll see behind him, then it's called In the Hole by Ben Levin, and that's who is our guest today in the podcast. So, Ben, thank you very much for writing the book and for also being willing to be interviewed for the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I have a bunch of questions, of course, and you are an autistic teenager. You want to be a good example to a lot of other teenagers, but also to a lot of young children, like your books and your series are really books to inspire young people, which is very cool that you write for young people. So can we start off? Do you mind talking about autism? Like, when did you start accepting the fact that you were autistic?
So it's a really long story. So I did this program which discussed where the goal was to inspire me to want to communicate with others. However, the program had a message about curing autism, one which ended up confusing me after I was done. I needed to do the program because I was very almost antisocial, quiet, barely talked to anyone, but same way I needed to do body ecology in order to function. But the program implied that that autism was something that needed to be cured, wiped out. And just thinking that was really confusing for me, and I wondered if the fact that I'd ever been autistic made me less than human. After I switched schools in 8th grade, I started keeping it a secret because I knew most people didn't think you could recover, and I didn't want to seem like an insane liar. But but if deep down, I also kept it a secret because I didn't want people to know about my past and things I was ashamed of. It felt like, and this stifled me keeping such a huge secret, thinking it redeemed me. I was barely able to develop any friendships because of this. I made a lot of ones I really appreciated, still do, but the friends weren't able to develop because it was keeping a major part of my identity a secret. I realized this 1.5 years ago. You wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to say I'm really glad you're speaking out about this because autism's a mystery to most people. And, we rarely get a chance to get into the autistic mind because some people can't speak at all. So you've reached a point where you can not only speak, but write a pretty amazing book. I have to be honest, Ben. I kind of thought the book was going to be more like a first grader's book or something. It's really well written. You did a fantastic job. Oh, absolutely. Wait a minute. I have to say one more thing. I opened it up and it said to Donna, I hope you enjoy In the Hole. Follow your dreams and always believe in yourself. Love, Ben. And that's really special to me because I spent a long, long time trying to believe in myself and the fact that because I was raised around people that certainly didn't believe in me and had to find my way. But it's so great that you have that self-confidence and that you're actually using your talents, even though, it's harder for you than it might be for others, especially your age. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's extraordinary what you're doing. So I just want to say that, but then let's go on. What were you going to say next?
Okay, so 5 months after I realized my secret was stifling me, a close relative told me that I was still autistic. Something I got real, and I spent the next 2 days after this trying to figure out whether or not I was and what I believed. One thing that helped was my dad asking me if I saw autism as a brain or as disability. A disorder. I see it as both a different ability, not disability, and something, and a type of brain. 2 things which bring extraordinary things about them and which everyone who has should be proud to have. And instead of, what? After this, I started, after I accepted it, which that conversation helped me do, I claimed my autism on Instagram 2 months later. The best experience of my life.
Why? Why would you say that?
Because it was so relieving to get a secret off my back after 3.5 years. And it had caused me so much stress. I couldn't even hear autism be talked about without getting nervous during this time. And
so would you mention something, if you don't mind kind of explaining it a little bit more, a different brain? Did you say that? Like, yes. Your brain is different. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's not extremely capable. And do you think the brain you have is helped you become a writer?
Heck yeah. That's gift, part right? of why I say autism's a gift.
Great.
And
so just talk about that a little more, because I think that's a great thing to say. I
feel like there are 2 gifts I found from my autism. I always had this one really close friend who was on the spectrum since 6th grade. But this year I made more, and we even create a club together to celebrate our special talents called the PH Special Talents Club. My school's Pascack Hills.
What are some of the special talents that the different friends have?
Writing, playing basketball, music.
Cool, yeah. And are some girls? Are they almost all your friends boys?
The club has 4 boys and 1 girl in it.
Oh, nice. That's good.
We want more girls. Or at the very least, I do.
Well, how do people find you? Let's say people are listening to this. They know somebody that are close to your age, and they know that person that they know needs you and needs the group and needs that kind of connection. Mm-hmm.
Follow me on Instagram. My account's Ben Levin Author, or reach out to my website, benlevinauthor.com.
Okay. Author, AUTH, Ben Levin Author. So your body is covering up the Ben Levin. The author. No, that's all right. The author is the only thing that shows. So now, okay, perfect. Good. People got it. Well, let's talk about your book, because first of all, it's a great cover. I don't know who designed it, but it's really, like, what's this book about? It's the first thing you wonder. And then, of course, if you turn it over and you realize it's a book about a homeless person, a homeless family, really, what in the world made you focus on this topic? Because you have been anything but homeless. You've got 2 amazing mom and dad and all that. So,
first, people facing homelessness can have amazing families too, who work hard. They just aren't in the best circumstances. Second, a lot of things did. First was watching a video about homeless children in Florida, which made me want to help raise awareness. And the second was more and more people are becoming homeless, people who never expected to be it. And it's so important for them to have someone to relate to.
Yeah. Yeah, then and even people who aren't homeless to understand
Yeah.
homelessness, because we
Mm.
see it on TV and you see all these people living in tents, and there's no way you can relate to that. So if you, I mean, unless you're one of them, but so the hero in the book is David,
Yeah.
and his dad is an alcoholic. Can you
Mhm.
just give us a little bit, without completely revealing everything and the ending and everything, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about the book, about the story?
After David's father loses his business, the Kimballs, his family, become homeless and they struggle with every challenge imaginable, from bullying and addiction to serious illness.
It's interesting that you put in that about his sister is becomes really ill because she's malnourished because they don't have enough to eat, obviously, living out of a car and so on. Do you think your amazing understanding about the importance of diet, did that have anything to do with you,
Hmm.
you know, giving that issue with to Julia?
It
That she needed to
didn't
be nourished and then
it didn't
malnourishment is
it
another
didn't
issue?
come to me. It didn't occur to me, but yes, diet is so important. My diet helped me progress, and it helps me be able to communicate more, function, avoid things like spacing out and violence. By the way, what you invented, Lecanto, it's amazing. How did you come up with it? It really
Well,
helps me.
yeah, I did, and I just brought it over here because all of you in our bedrock group, moms and all, they were right in, and it's my son's birthday. Stevia doesn't work. I'd already brought stevia over out of a lab in China that the Japanese had worked with the Chinese to create. It didn't even exist yet, so that I had brought over already, but you couldn't bake with it. So I just started asking the universe, please, is there something that would work? And that's through an amazing set of events, I found what I call divine arrangements. I found this very popular product over in Japan that no one knew about it, that it was being recommended for diabetics. It was great for baking. And we now have another new sweetener called BE Sweet that's excellent too. It's even stronger, so you have to use less of it, but it's
Wow.
really delicious. I'll have to send you some. Yeah, so because everybody needs sweets. We just need the healthy ones that don't feed yeast, for example. And so thank you for saying that. Did you mind being on a special diet? Or did you
I did for
have,
the first several years of it. There were several times when I was in third grade when the kids in my class had treats and I was crying. But
oh,
as I got old, and the goal always seemed to one day be off of it, but eventually, especially after I realized I had ADHD too, I realized I don't even know what I'm missing anymore. And this helps me. I mean, which would you rather do? Avoid sugar or struggle with behavioral issues?
mhm. Or the fermented foods are so important too. And they do so many things. Matter of fact, you'll probably age extremely well. You'll be 80, look like you're 50 from eating them all your life. So I hope you don't go off of it or all of it, but you can always widen out, and then use things like you said, like the Be Sweet and the Lakanto and all to bring the sugar in. So you're always off of sugar, which is a huge plus. So that's great. And so I would like for people to know more about your family, your mom, for example, because I don't know your dad, but I do know your mom, and I do know she's amazing. So would you tell the world? I know you think she's amazing. So could you tell the world the kind of mom you have?
My mom is someone who's really helped me. She supports me through everything. Also, a really good actor. And I couldn't have gone through so many of the things I have without her. She's my favorite person.
She's your cheerleader, always behind you.
Yeah.
She sent me your first book. She's so proud of you. So, yeah, it's great to have a mom like that. And I do want to say that all the families I've worked with, one of the things that's always special is that the kids that have parents like your mom, dad too, I'm sure, are the ones that are very, very lucky and do progressed to where you are. And one of the things I think is amazing about you is your wisdom, which shows up in your writing. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. So can you tell me about the book series that you wrote that was about Nellie and Nellie's friends? Like, let's talk about that, because for younger people, maybe.
It's about a little girl who moves midway through the country, loses all her friends in the process, and because of that, making friends becomes her favorite thing. In each book, she makes a new friend and they have an adventure together.
Are any of her friends African American?
Book 6 is, and book 39 will be. And so will one book in the late teens. And I am hoping, I wrote this when I was in 5th grade, and this was inspired by another series I read, but I am hoping to make a lot more of Nellie's friends girls of color.
Oh, cool. And do you find that, does Nellie have friends that are autistic? And also, do you know in your group young African American children that are autistic? Because you don't seem to, I personally haven't had a lot of parents come to me asking for help.
I know it's so problematic how people always assume that people who are autistic are white. I personally have one friend in a literacy magazine together. I don't want to be specific or reveal that, but she's Black, and I'm very certain she's on the spectrum.
Yeah, that's great, because I don't know if people, Black parents or children who are on the spectrum, that they're reaching out for help. But it'd be nice if anyone listening to this knows about your website, benlevin.com, to join the special group of friends. I would love to see it just grow and grow and grow, because it's amazing. It's really what people need. So I know that there's a future ahead for you. What are your future plans? Like, it sounds like you're going to definitely be writing books for the rest of your life, probably.
Heck yeah. I'm planning on going to FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson University, and then I'm planning on moving back to a town I lived in when I was younger and just staying there for a few years. I might teach English, and yes, of course, I'm going to write.
Good. Do you want to be a teacher? Would you major in English and writing and all that?
Absolutely.
Oh, so that's so cool.
I'm majoring in creative writing.
Yeah, great. Wow. Well, so all we have to do is stay in touch, is to go to your website, benlevinauthor.com. And I hope people, where can people get the book?
Jumpmasterpress.org.
Amazon?
Yes, Amazon or jumpmasterpress.org.
Okay, so you're saying Jump, J-U-M-P, Masterpress.
Yes.
.org or .com?
Either one. I'm not sure. I never remember.
Okay. I can try them both, but everybody does Amazon because they can get it overnight practically. Well, Ben, thank you so much for being you, for having the wisdom that you have, for putting that wisdom into your books. I just felt really honored to know you, and thank you for writing what you wrote at the front, and just thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you for being you and having the courage to speak out and believe what you're, speak your beliefs. That's bravery, that's courage. And we need more of that in the world, so thank you.
It was really nice to meet you.
Body ecology is not a diet. It's a way of life based on 7 universal laws that always guide us toward the truth. If you want to know more about us, about these 7 universal laws, and about our amazing, effective products, go to our website, bodyecology.com. Also, for a free transcript of this show, go to our website. Again, that's bodyecology.com. And of course, if you like what you're learning, we'd be very grateful for a review on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you've got a topic you want to learn about, just let us know. This information does not replace the advice of your doctor or healthcare professional. Thank you very much for listening, and here's to a happier, healthier world.